Good morning and welcome everyone. We'll just give it a few minutes, then we'll start after that. So we'll give it one more minute to allow people to join, and then we'll start right away.
I think we should start, Nabil.
Let's go for it. Thank you, Howie. So good morning, everyone. I'm happy to have you here, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Nabil, and I look after the Middle East for Kurmi Software. And today's webinar is a joint session with Cisco. And from the Cisco side, we have Ala Mansour from the collaboration team. Welcome, Ala. I'm from the Kurmi. It is myself and my colleague Rudiger Hartmann, our technical account manager, who will show you the product live a little bit later. So our goal today, it's going to be simple. We are aiming to show you how we can help your customer manage their collaboration solutions and move to the cloud in a much easier way. And then from the Cisco side, we'll show you a bit of some updates on the Webex side. So here is the agenda. As I was saying, first, Ala will show you what is new and what's going for Webex calling and where the market is going. After that, I will show you how you can take your customer to Webex calling with Flow migration. Then how you will be able to manage or to help your customer manage hybrid environments for them when a customer runs more than one system at the same time. And then finally, something that we're really excited about, which will be our zero-touch provisioning and management when we connect Flow with ServiceNow. And at the end, we'll keep some time for questions and the next steps. Please note that you have a Q&A tab. Feel free to drop your questions at any time during the session. We'll keep at the end some time to respond to any of your questions. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Ala.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nabil, and good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our webinar today. Really, the webinar today has two objectives. We, the Cisco team, we will take a moment just to share with you the latest updates and announcements that are related to the Webex platform with focus on Webex calling. We will also want to demonstrate how the Cisco Kurmi partnership would help you on your journey toward onboarding to Webex Cloud and Webex Cloud workloads. Let me start by highlighting the calling market leadership. We at Cisco, we continue to demonstrate really strong global market leader in calling. That's across cloud and on-premise. We operate over 50 million cloud users. We have more than 16 million Webex calling users. We have over 700 partners. We have shipped over 100 million calling devices, Webex calling devices. We operate more than 8 billion monthly calls, and we have reached more than 170 market access. Basically, what I'm trying to communicate here that these numbers just illustrate and reflect the trust, the scale, and the reliability that position Webex calling as a leader in the industry. Let's go to the next slide, Nabil. And here, I just also want to confirm that our leadership in the market is not only reflected by the numbers we communicate to you, it's also validated by other third-party and various industry analysts in the like of Gartner, Argon, or Forrester. You can find that the Cisco calling is consistently recognized as a leader in both cloud and on-prem. We at Cisco is not sure it's a cloud first provider, but it's not a cloud only provider. We are committed to the on-prem infrastructure and the on-prem story. We support customers regardless of their deployment of choice. If they go with a hybrid deployment or on-prem, fully on-prem, or fully on the cloud. Let's go to the next slide where we really hit on, and I want to stress on the reliability factor because it's core to what we deliver. We are committed to this SLA of 5 nines. Over the past 24 months, we have achieved and continue to achieve the 5 nines SLA and uptime for Webex services. This is Webex services is tracked in real time, and this level of consistency is just what giving customer the trust and confidence to run their critical infrastructure and critical applications and services in Cisco SaaS applications or SaaS platform, cloud SaaS platforms. Let's go to the next slide where I probably will spend most of the time. These are our announcements focused on Webex calling recently in Cisco Live US. And those announcements, we could classify them into 3 main pillars: the AI innovation pillar, the administration, security, and resilience pillar, and also flexible deployments and market access and market reach. Let's start with AI innovations. We have introduced new AI agents for collaboration. Those are custom voice agents for really any use case or any practical use case. they are fully built and managed in the AI Agent Studio. We have announced the AI Receptionist for Webex Calling, generally available, GA. We also announced AI Assistant for Webex Calling, GA. We announced the upcoming Translator Agent in Q3 soon, in about 3 months. However, it's going to be in beta in around a month from now. We also announced the text queues, which will allow us through agents to service customers through SMS and WhatsApp channels. Really, these agents and innovations are designed to add intelligence into the calling experience and help businesses really automate and enhance the customer interactions. Now, when it comes to administration, security, and resilience, we have announced the Cisco Cloud Control. Cisco Cloud Control is a unified AI native platform or an interface where you go there in one workspace to manage all your Cisco domains. And I'm talking here that you can really manage your network, your compute, your security, your observability, and your collaboration in one single workspace. And this is really a game changer. When it comes to collaboration, Cisco Cloud Control will give you direct access to Control Hub and AI Canvas, again, from the same workspace. We have also announced a partnership with Pendrop for deepfake detection and voice attacks. This is a very hot topic in the AI era today. So having such integration or partnership would strengthen the Webex platform security and Webex meeting security. When it comes to market access, we are expanding our reach. So we're globally available in 200 plus markets. We are already available in the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia for Webex calling. We have fully calling residency in Saudi Arabia since 2025 February. And we've announced in Cisco Live being also GA in India. We are committing to become also available in Japan early next year, and other Asian countries are in the roadmap. Let's move to the next slide, Nabil. And this is demo time. Yeah, I would like to take a moment to show you the AI Receptionist agent that we announced in Cisco Live here in action. The idea of the demo is to demonstrate how AI Receptionist can really handle calls, manage scheduling, and provide a seamless, intelligent experience for your business without any human interaction. AI Receptionist can be configured and deployed in Control Hub really in minutes. You can configure like a knowledge base for the AI Receptionist agent. The AI Receptionist will use that knowledge base to act upon and execute a certain task and deflect some calls or automate some of these tasks. We will see this in live. It's around a minute demo. Nabil, let's go ahead and show it in action.
AI Receptionist for Webex Calling, your always-on virtual receptionist that can answer questions, book appointments, and transfer calls so your business can boost customer satisfaction without adding staff.
Thanks for calling Florissa Dental. I'm your AI Receptionist. How can I help you today?
Hi, yes, I have a toothache and I'd like to schedule an appointment. But first, I want to make sure that you accept U.S. insurance.
Yes, we do. U.S. insurance is covered 100%. Would you like to speak to an insurance specialist? Or are you ready to schedule an appointment?
I'd like to go ahead and schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Great. I'll transfer you to a nurse who will give you an initial consultation and help to schedule your appointment.
Thank you. Deliver outstanding customer service. AI Receptionist. Available later this year as an add-on to Webex Calling.
Great. So the AI Receptionist is GA and available today. You can try it out in Control Hub, test it out, and deploy it again in minutes. Now, when it comes to the other demo, it's for the upcoming translator agent or real-time translation. And this is really to show you how Webex Calling can and break down the language barrier instantly by enabling effective communication for your teams that might be operating in global scale with global customers, where there is, language barrier between support and other customers, for example. It will allow us in real time to translate between different spoken languages. This demo is around 2 minutes. Let's see it in action. Nabil?
Business is global and so are your customers. But language barriers, they can derail customer service or drive staffing costs out of control. That's where the translator agent steps in. See, Webex translates voice in real time while preserving your tone and your emotions, so your employees, they can connect with any customer in multiple languages instantly and personally. I'm planning a scenic road trip through France and I want to make sure there's a child seat for my little one in the rental car. Normally I'd be put on hold while the rental desk searches for someone who understands me, or I'd hang out wondering if my request got lost in translation. But with Translator Agent, this interaction is seamless. Hi, this is Rob Boyd. I'm renting a car on July 15th and I want to make sure that there's a child seat installed in the car. See, the rental staff who speaks French answer the call in the Webex app and hear the request in their language. Hi, this is Rob. Bonjour, ici Rob. Je vous voiture le 15 juillet et je voudrais m'assurer qu'un siège au fond soit installé dans le véhicule. Now this is really cool. The employee responds in French and Translator Agent instantly translates their response into English for me.
Bonjour, Mr. Boyd. Hello, Mr. Boyd. Yes, your request for a car seat is confirmed. We'll have it ready when you arrive. We look forward to greeting you.
Amazing, right? There's no confusion, no language barriers, just 5-star service delivered by your existing highly trained staff. Translator Agent is coming soon for Webex Calling, Meetings, and Contact Center. It will support 6 languages at launch, with more to come soon. From retail and travel to healthcare and financial services, Webex is how businesses connect with customers across languages.
Great. This agent, let's maybe step back. This agent is the translator agent is in beta in around a month from now. You can test it out. It supports 6 languages at launch, which are English, French, German, Hindi, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Spanish. Arabic is coming as well to this list. This is still coming to beta next month, but as you can see, it really gives your staff like the tools they need to break that language barrier. So that's coming in beta in a month from now. You could go ahead and test it out. Let's go next, Nabil. Yeah, and now as we think about the future of our devices portfolio, let's step back and look at the firmware evolution for IP phones. Back in the days when we started the journey on-prem, we had the enterprise firmware, which is the traditional firmware for air-gapped CUCM deployments. It was a firmware designed for limited traditional IP phone capabilities. But we had a challenge when you wanted to move to the cloud. You would need to check device compatibility. You would need to migrate to MPP firmware, which stands for multi-platform firmware. MPP firmware, on the other hand, was a cloud-focused or cloud-oriented firmware designed for Webex calling, but also designed for other third-party call controls. It helped in the cloud adoption, but you still needed to migrate back and forth between enterprise and MPP, depending on your deployment of choice. So if you want to register on the CUCM, you would need to migrate and switch back to enterprise. But if you want to go with Webex calling, for example, you would need to migrate to MPP. And that adds complexity, especially to our dear friends, the partners. So what we came up with is the Phone OS firmware. This is comes loaded with our new generation of IP phones. It's in line with the Room OS firmware that we deploy, and naming convention that we deploy on the video devices. Phone OS is running on all our new generation of IP phones. It's a unified firmware for cloud and on-premise experience. So that's the big value here. And on top of that, because of the nature of that firmware, it comes with lots of value and benefits. It has lots of AI-powered capabilities, secure design, and easy, simple administration. So here we reduce the friction and the migration complexity because you don't have that firmware fragmentation. Regardless if your choice is cloud or on-prem, Phone OS is the firmware to use on that and on these phones. Let's zoom in into Phone OS a little bit more, the next slide. And here really the Phone OS message is we want to make it simple for customers and partners. We want to make your life easier. So if your choice is cloud or on-prem for the deployment, it doesn't matter. Phone OS would be the firmware that you will use on these phones. It's unified management, maintenance, analytics, troubleshooting, everything from one place, the control hub. And because of the nature of this firmware, it comes loaded as well with ThousandEyes agents, which gives you this comprehensive network visibility, proactive issue resolution, because we could have that media path and network path visibility for packets coming in and out from these phones running Phone OS. And finally, which I think the most crucial point for you guys and for everybody, is deployment. It's effortless. It's zero trust provisioning, which makes it really easy to scale, especially in large deployments. Let's explore our phone portfolio. We have the 9.8 series audio phones. Those are audio only, designed for any work style. The entry point is a 9.811. We have also the 41, 51, 61, 71, which has a touch screen, and also the 9821. It's a wireless phone that came up recently. It's a very powerful one as well. Those are again running the Phone OS, secure by design, simple administration from Control Hub, and flexible to register cloud or on-prem, running the same Phone OS firmware. Let's go next to our video phone, the 8875, also Shure, running the Phone OS. This phone goes beyond calling to cover meetings and hot desking or next generation hot desking. The phone comes with audio intelligence capabilities, noise cancelling, and camera with privacy shutter, and the capability to join meetings with calendar integration and one button to push, thanks to Phone OS. You could join Webex meetings, Microsoft meetings, even Zoom meetings with a click of a button from the calendar icon in the phone. That would not have been possible with MPP or enterprise firmware. You also have next generation hot desking support, and again, the management and removing that complexity from Control Hub. You could manage everything related to telephony as well as automatic firmware updates. All right, this probably brings us back why we're here on the webinar. We are trying to help customers to get into cloud efficiency. You know, we haven't had a long-standing relationship with Kurmi for many years, for over a decade, and I believe Kurmi is well positioned to support customers, reduce migration time and cost by up to 70%. With Kurmi, they provide a single pane of glass for managing, regardless if your deployment is on-prem or Webex calling MT multi-tenant or dedicated instance, or even a third-party provider like Microsoft. This is all in one place from the Kurmi interface. Kurmi also provides powerful bulk operations and provisioning, phone number management, with strong admin controls like role-based access controls, log tracking, etc. So these are, equipping you with all the tools you need, so you move at your own pace and perform this phased migration really at your own pace. Cisco and Kurmi, or Kurmi, is really complements the Cisco Webex Control Hub in a big way, especially for migrations and ongoing UC administration. With that, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to me, and I will hand it over to Kurmi team, who will show us a lot more about Kurmi and their recent updates. Yeah, Nabil, over to you.
Thanks so much, Ala, for the great updates and insights. So going back to who we are, just a quick update. I mean, not update, but a quick refreshment of who we are. So Kurmi's, we've been on the market for over 15 years now, managing and automating collaboration environments. We've been doing that for a long time, and it's our bread and butter. And for many years, we've been helping enterprise and service providers move between UC platforms and manage them at a scale. We've been a Cisco partner, as Ala said, for over a decade, and our platform has been recently rebranded to Flow. So let's go now to, let me walk with you what Flow is. But before that, we would like to see a little bit what we have seen on the market and why specifically we're here to reframe and explain you the three main challenges that we have seen. The first challenge that we have noticed, based on the feedback that we've got from your customers and partners, that migrations are slower than expected. So everybody wants to move to the cloud now or later, or they have a plan to move to the cloud. But when the day start, when they plan, they move to the cloud, they see that, okay, that's not just a copy paste. It takes some time, some expertise. The second thing that we've seen is that almost nobody runs only one system. So most companies, they have two or more UC platforms at the same time, and on top of that, they have contact center, SBC, third-party solutions for calling, for billing or recording. And lastly, all the manual works cost money. So every change, every new number, every service request takes time, and you need expertise, skilled engineers to manage each one of these different platforms, and everything it adds up. So I think that some of the things that I have been showing here are familiar to you, and you have been discussing this with your customers. So the aim of this session is to tackle exactly that, to reduce the complexity and help your customer, and show you how you can help your customers mitigate those issues. So here is Flow. Flow is basically the main solution that we've got when it comes to automating your daily management, the daily management of your customers. So Flow does two things. First, it makes the migration to Webex Calling faster and simpler. And after the move, it automates the daily management. How we do that? So first, we will connect to all the UC environment. As Hala said, we can connect to on-premise, Call Manager, Webex Calling, DIMT, or third-party UC applications like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. The idea here is to provide a single pane of glass to manage all these tools. And on top of that, thanks to our northbound integration, we integrate with ITSM tools such as ServiceNow, BMC, Remedy. It could be Managed Engine, any ITSM, in fact, that has an open API, and of course, directories. The idea is here is not to disturb your workflow, but to automate it. So we understand how your current workflow works, and then we automate it thanks to our integrations. That being said, let's start talking about how we can help you move your customers from on-premise to Webex calling. So what we like to say is that we take a holistic approach. Why is that? Because we provide you a single portal, again, to help you move your customers from on-premise to cloud. This is thanks to our recent acquisition of YarnLab, which is a specialized solution provider on migration. Now it's part of our portfolio and solution, and it has been rebranded to Flow Migration. So when you run a migration for your customer, you look at the full journey, not only moving the data. So your customer wants the full picture before they move, and they want the manual work to be removed. And they want to make sure that everything went well correctly. And this is exactly what we provide with Flow Migration. We'll provide you a single platform where you can load your data, map all your fields from on-premise to cloud, and then before you migrate and before you move anything, we revalidate, we make sure everything works properly, and then you can migrate at your own pace with a secure environment. And we'll see that during the demo that Rudiger will show us in the coming slides. And back to the 70% that Ala mentioned, here are some examples that we have where we have migrated a few customers. And that's not just theory. There are 3 real projects, big ones, thousands of users and many sites and many devices. So the point here that we want to convey is that even when the data is messy, each project finished in about 7 to 10 days. And in fact, none of the engineers that worked on flow migration, they had experience in this tool before. So it's fast, it's easy to learn, and in average, this means, again, up to 70% in less effort to migrate customers from on-prem to cloud. That being said, let's see our solution in action. And I will hand it over to my colleague Rudiger to show you a quick demo on how we can migrate a customer from Call Manager to Webex Calling MT.
All right. Here we go. So this is, I will not walk you through the full migration as this will take a couple of minutes. I only will show you, I'm not sharing yet. Sorry, I forgot to click. Apologies. All right, here we go. So this is a video of migration, and it takes about 12 minutes, but I will move through it quicker and just highlight the most essential parts of it. This is part of the dCloud lab. You can try yourself and kind of prepare for your partner migration, customer migrations if you face them when you face them in the future. The Flow migration tool is a dedicated application, and the structure is we have the menu to the left where we can prepare everything. But of course, first of all, you start by initializing the migration, meaning you put in the source and destination. Of course, we always start on a source cluster of CUCM, usually on-prem. But this could be also a DI, a dedicated instance in the Cisco Webex Cloud, and which has to be moved to Webex Calling, right? So the destination here could be either Webex Calling or another CUCM cluster, being on-prem for cluster consolidations or being in the cloud, Webex Cloud. But mainly, of course, it is migrating to Webex Calling. And for this, we need to translate the configuration of the CUCM to the configuration in the control hub for Webex Calling. So once we have entered all the details, of course, we can name this as well, and then we start the discovery of the configuration, or well, it's not yet the extraction, it's more the discovery. We look, we go through the configuration on the CUCM, and I speed this up. It's just to save some couple of minutes. And then based on the mapping, sorry for, here we go. Based on the mapping we do here in the target mapping to the left, target mapping, we try to find locations or any grouping. You know, CUCM doesn't understand the concept of sites, but we do support locations by device pools, or that's the default we use. But you can imagine you can do this also based on partitions and other ways of your configuration. So the first discovery finds, assumes some locations, and we assume these site IDs found for California, New York, and Texas. And now you can mark these sites to be understood, to be more analyzed, or ignore them. And in this case, in this example, of course, all the 3 sites we want to understand. So we go with this knowledge, we go for a second round and try to understand the concept. And based on this, of course, we might find some issues. There are no clean configurations out there in reality. We know this. We have so many customers with grown configurations. So the tool the flow migration tool provides you the benefit of correcting these issues, and inside the tool, of course, there might be some license missing, or some of the objects might have multiple site allocations. We can fix them, or we can ignore them, or we can disable the rule. So we have many measures in the tool to work on the source configurations, right? So we find these issues, and of course the sites we found, we have to create in the Webex Control Hub site. You don't have to log into CUCM to fix the issues. You don't have to log in to the Control Hub to fix or to prepare the calling site. You can do everything in the tool by just selecting the items to correct, like creating the locations. Let me move here just to show you the example. Come on, and here, this is the way we set the, I think this is the license correction, and then we go further and do correct, yeah, and create the location. In this example, this is for New York, and of course we do this for all the 3 sites. And eventually, when all the issues are fixed, we validate again. So there are a couple of loops of validations. We end up in just finding only some warnings. Where are the warnings? Here are the warnings. No, go back, sorry. Here we go. Just as an example. And we can acknowledge these warnings or even work on these warnings if need be, but there are no issues anymore, right? So we know we can go ahead and extract the data and prepare for the migration. So let's move on, and then eventually get to the point where the migration is ready to be performed. So we can prepare sites, and again, we tried to understand the sites, we found the sites, and now we can select, yes, we want to migrate all 3 sites, or no, we just want to start with California or Texas or whatever. And so again, we have the chance to be selective, and maybe tonight we do just to California, tomorrow night we do New York, and on the weekend we do Texas or whatever. So, but we have the tool prepared. So now we run and load the information into the tool, because we need to extract the data, translate the configuration within the tool, and then push it, move it to the control hub. And this is the final step. And eventually we start the move, the loading of the control hub, and then eventually at the end, of course, we're done. So we migrated 3 sites. And this example for the lab, you can try it yourself in dcloud. This takes about 12, well, this is speeded up in between, so maybe it takes 20 minutes to fully migrate this example of 3 sites and a couple of users. Back to you, Nabil.
Thank you, Ro. So, thank you for the nice demo. I mean, it's impressive that 20 minutes to migrate from Kurmi to Webex Calling. I think it's great. Just wanted to highlight the 3 ways that you partners can purchase and deliver these migrations. So the first one, we call it the Flow Partner Toolkit. It's for partners that works at scale, and we provide the complete toolkit that includes the discovery, the test, and the migration modules, and you can perform as many migrations as you want with this toolkit. The second one is the Flow Extended, which is the migration tools plus the ongoing management. Good when the customer wants a slow step-by-step migration. And the last one is the standalone product, Flow Migration and Flow Test on their own, which are already available on the Cisco Solution Plus for one-time cases. So usually when customers, they want to either use it by themselves or just use it for this specific project. And then why does the partner toolkit matter for your business? I believe that we can put that into 4 reasons. First is that it gives you a standard way of working. The same process for every customer. You don't have to think how I'm going to approach this customer, this migration. No, you already have a standardized way to approach migrations, which will reduce your risk. You have a fewer surprises and escalation as you grow. And then it's going to give you confidence. You can see exactly what is changing and prove the results, and it keeps the automation under control. It's going to mean less manual work, but you will never lose visibility. On top of that, something that I want to specifically highlight, that very few partners they are using this partner toolkit. So being one of the few partners in each of your country that has this partner toolkit will give you the edge when positioning migrations, because you can deliver migrations way faster and with more reliability. Moving on now to the hybrid UC environment and UC management. So now migration, it was one part of the story, but the truth is that many customers will run more than one system for a long time. So with Flow, you will be able to manage call manager, Webex calling from the same screen. On top of that, of course, all the Cisco UC and collaboration solutions such as CSM, CMS, contact center, and again, third-party tools like could be a Magical for the recording, billing, it could be Microsoft Teams or Zoom. The idea is that we can put everything in a single portal, and then if some customers, they want to move in a few years and sometime from one platform to another, they can still use Flow to move those platforms from one to another. And just an example of a use case that we've got. So this is an hospital group. They had around 16,000 users and 60 locations. Their main problem was that the IT team were jumping between systems. They had to type the same user information again and again in different systems, and they had no clear view on which four numbers they were free. With Flow, after we implemented our solution, we saw that they cut their daily management time by half. They stopped using spreadsheets for number management. They could now get the extension written back automatically to their directory. And with ServiceNow connection, they solved the onboarding request faster, and they started meeting all their SLAs. That being said, let's see how Flow works in action, and then I'll hand it over again to my colleague Rudiger for that. Over to you.
All right. So what happens in between the migrations of locations? Or if you have a customer that says, no, we don't want to migrate overnight. We want to run the process of migration will take the next couple of months, even years. I have one customer in Germany that is migrating 1,000 users per week, and they have in total about 70,000 employees. So you can do the math. This migration is ongoing for years now, meanwhile, so 2.5 years roughly it will take. And they move team by team, week by week, and in between, of course, they need a provisioning tool to handle the full situation. So in our example, of course, this is from CUCM on-prem to Webex Calling. And I want to show you an example here. With our Flow tool, you can do this even natively. So the user packages are, you can understand them as kind of service packages or service profiles, user profiles. So depending on your role or technology you want to use, right? You can have agent packages for the contact center, or technology packages like a CUCM basic package we'll use in this example, which will just provide a line on the CUCM together with a Jabber soft client. That's an easy basic package. And a similar basic package can be the Webex calling with no optional configuration, but assigning this package, we will provision these services bundled in the package. Now, moving a user from one package to another is, will also, of course, migrate this user from one technology to another. Meaning, you could even imagine using this for migrating a user from Microsoft Teams to Webex calling by just changing the package. Now, in this example, let's run the video, sorry. We look at an international customer where there are some users in Saudi Arabia, and I picked two locations here, Jeddah and Riyadh, just to show that the local admin, who is only responsible for Saudi Arabia, can do these migrations as well. So he checks his users, and he sees 3 users, I think 1 in Jeddah and 2 in Riyadh. I need to move this just a second. And sorry, clicking is difficult here. Sorry, I messed up. We need to move back and explain shortly some concepts here. So looking at the, we have a directory integration here as well. Of course, you're used to this with customers of CUCM. They of course have a local AD, and all the users we have provisioned on the CUCM or in Webex Calling. If you have the same integration, they're okay. Their status is okay. But the ones that are not yet provisioned in CUCM or in Webex Calling, they're to create. So this local admin has the right to even onboard new users. And in this example, we'll pick Joe Pearson to be onboarded by the local admin responsible for Saudi Arabia for the 2 locations, Jeddah and Riyadh. Now, in this case, Joe shall start in Jeddah. There is no phone number yet provisioned. So we go ahead, and for the Jeddah location, we see the service packages are only Webex Calling and IM if he doesn't want to call. In Riyadh, we only have CUCM packages available, meaning Jeddah is already migrated to Webex Calling, but Riyadh is still on the CUCM on-prem, right? So when we provision the user when we provision Joe in Riyadh, he will be provisioned with his extension, the next available extension on the CUCM. So this was successful. We can check the user, and we see the location Riyadh and the package with the telephony service on the CUCM with a line and a Jabber for desktop provisioned in a single click. So this manually would already take a couple of minutes. Now, if he wants to move this user to Jeddah, he would change the department, but he's not allowed to. So we need to go back to his manager, and he will go and see the user Joe. He has more capabilities. He has more rights to do. Now he's changing the package to Jeddah, and Flow here helps the admins to say, well, yeah, if you move this user to Jeddah, then you also have to switch the package. And as we do this manually, we get the warning, and the list you see there is no CUCM available, so we have to move this user to Webex Calling. If we do this automatically by triggering an AD attribute or get an ITSM request from the Northbound API, we will then automatically assign the default package, which would be Webex Calling for Jeddah. Now, we change the package to Webex Calling. Of course, we get the new number assigned for Jeddah. And by clicking apply, we will deprovision this user from the CUCM cluster responsible for Riyadh, and provisioning the user in the Webex Calling control hub API via the API with, again, not a single click, but a very, very few clicks. This will take about a couple of seconds because this is a real environment. This is not a fake demo. So we need to wait for Webex Calling to respond that everything was successful. And here we go. Didn't take too long. And now we see this user has a Webex package, and everything we do, we track in tickets. So now we can see in the ticket all the details of what happened. And this is quite a lot with just a few clicks. And we see we modified Joe, we removed him from CUCM and put him on Webex Calling. We removed the telephony service, the line, and we changed the AD information with a different phone number and the location. We removed the line and the Jabber, and we created this user in the Webex Control Hub with his profile. And all the values are controlled within Kurmi, within the role set. So that was hopefully a quick demo of how we can deal with multiple technologies, depending on locations or groups or whatever, or even migrate users between these technologies in a day-to-day management. Back to you, Nabil.
Thank you very much, Ro. By the way, the same move that he has been done from Call Manager to Webex Calling can be done from Microsoft Teams to Webex Calling. So as easy as changing a package. So now the last part, as many of your customers, they might be running on ServiceNow or not. At the end, this the following is going to be applicable either for ServiceNow or other ITSM tools, but we are mentioning here ServiceNow because we have a built-in tool available on the ServiceNow App Store. So many of your customers, because they run already ITSM, let's assume it's ServiceNow, this is their where Flow fits perfectly. When you connect Flow with ServiceNow, all the UC provisioning becomes part of the workflows that they already have. They don't need to change or disrupt anything. It can be through an AI agent, through, as we'll see later, or through the service catalog or something customer. There are two easy ways to connect, through APIs or through a ready-made app that we've got on ServiceNow App Store. The idea is, again, to allow the API of Flow to trigger and to execute the actions that they have been asked on the ticket the ServiceNow has raised. And this because Flow can talk with Control Hub, with Webex Calling, Call Manager, or any other UC application. This can automate all your tasks. And speaking about tasks, we mean all the life cycle of the employee, from the new onboarding to changing any parameter, activation of their services, even migrations. We've got customers that they are triggering and automating the migration through ServiceNow. They request a change of a technology or a package, and then this triggers our API. Then we go ahead and migrate the user from one technology to another. And even the deprovisioning, the offboarding, something super critical for highly governed entities such as banks. They need to make sure that an employee who leaves is properly offboarded and deprovisioned to avoid any risk or audit findings. That being said, we are moving to the final demo, which is the agentic AI integration that we've got with ServiceNow. And we'll hand it over to you on this one.
All right, in this example, the ServiceNow agent is talking to our agent. And we ask, or this agent asked that Chuck shall join our team, and we find out the team is spread across multiple locations. And here we show the list of the locations, and we then give him another hint saying, well, he shall start in the US. It stopped. Here we go. So we tell him he's based in the US. Oh, well, the locations in the US are Huntsville and New Orleans. And let's pick New Orleans in this example. So now the agent goes ahead and checks what technologies are available, and we can assign packages for Webex calling or even Microsoft Teams. But of course, we pick Webex calling. And now he's checking the available phone numbers for Webex calling and picks the first available number. But again, we ask him to provide a more easy to remember number. So we get a list to pick from. And of course, we pick the one with the fives. Come on, here we go. And this is number 5. And based on this conversation, having with an AI agent, we can prepare this provisioning of the user via the MCP server. Of course, this is an example we did with ServiceNow, but any AI agent could talk to our MCP server and doing probably the same result here.
Thank you, Drew. I think that's great. I mean, even for someone who doesn't have a UC experience or collaboration background, technical background, to provision a user like this is something great. What's next? So just 5 things, simple things we want you to take from these sessions. I mean, first, so whenever you have a migration, try to bring Flow migration into the deal. It removes the friction. remove the worry about migration that sometimes slow down the deal. Second thing is that the earlier you bring us, the better. I mean, the sooner we join, the smoother it goes for your customer, because they see that, okay, we've got a reliable platform that they can easily move us from one platform to the other, and we can still work and don't disrupt our workflows while we migrate. And third, you can of course start with a free assessment, no cost, no risk, and we'll use real data from the customers on the environment. And fourth, think about Flow whenever you have a big complex customer, not only for the migrations, but for the daily management. You've seen on the demo that Ru has shown, we can easily manage huge environments with very complex integrations, and we can make the life of your customer easier. And last, of course, you can reach out to us at any time on Webex, email, or phone. We respond fast, and you've got here a QR code where you can scan and to request a demo. But again, most of you already have my email address or phone number. If not, you will get it soon after the webinar. That being said, we are a bit tight on time, so if you have any question, we can respond it right now. If not, feel free to contact us directly. Check. Okay, so for the sake of the time, I believe that it's better to close the session. We're a bit late on it. So again, thank you so much for attending this session. Thank you for the Cisco team to joining us on this session. And we look forward to working together. And again, if you have any question, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you, everyone.